Hi there, gorgeous! Happy Frugal Friday to you! Today I'm showing you how to recreate this Valentine's Day themed look in another half-face high-end, half-face drugstore featuring the Makeup Revolution Iconic 3 palette and comparing it with Urban Decay's Naked 3. But I'm not going to tell you which side is which until the end of the video, but if you figure it out, let me know below. Unfortunately, there are no names in the Makeup Revolution palette, so I'll refer to each eyeshadow from the Urban Decay palette. So the first shade that I'm taking here is the one that is like Factory, and I'm applying this onto the outer third of the lid, inner third of the lid, and I'm also bringing this into the crease a little bit, but you do want to make sure you leave a blank spot in the middle of the lid as much as possible. And the second eyeshadow I'm taking from the palettes is Limit, and I'm applying this directly into the crease. If you have a darker complexion than me, you could also use Nooner in this step. Taking the shade called Dust, that light pink, glittery, shimmery, sparkly eyeshadow, I'm applying this onto the middle of the lid. And for both eyes, I did apply this eyeshadow wet, so I put a little bit on the brush first, spritzed it with a setting spray, and then applied it. Then I went in with Dark Side. It's that deep grayish purple shade at the end of the palette, and used this to deepen up the outer V of the eye a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with this eyeshadow in both palettes, and after I had deposited just the right amount, I went back with a fluffy brush and blended it into the look. And finally, I took Black Heart and applied this as an eyeliner to the upper lash line. And I forgot to mention that I used Factory on the lower lash line in this look also. And for my false eyelashes, I found a dupe for the really popular Noir Fairy pair from House of Lashes, and they are Koko lashes in the style Ariel. Half the price, and they look just as beautiful on the eyes. Really hard to tell these two apart. And for my foundation, I'm going with MAC's Pro Longwear in NW13 and Revlon's Colorstay in 110. Couldn't show you the entire application because that would give it away, but you can see the finish here and how comparable these two really are. And for my concealer, I went with LA Girl's Pro HD Concealer, and I'm comparing it to the Clinique Line Smoothing Concealer. Both of these have a very similar consistency and almost identical color, but we'll see at the end of the video how well they wear. To set my face, I'm going with a pressed powder from MAC and a comparable one from Revlon. This is their PhotoReady pressed powder, and I'm applying this on each side of my face with a damp sponge from Real Techniques. And for my blush in this look, I went back to the Urban Decay and Makeup Revolution palettes and took the shade that's comparable to Buzz and Burnout, mixed these two together and applied them onto my cheeks, blended them in with the sponge to get a rosy hue on the cheeks. That's what I love so much about the Naked 3 palette, is that it's not only great for the eyes, but some of the shades can also be used on the face. For my lip liner, I'm going with MAC's Whirl, and its drugstore counterpart is NYX's Mauve, and you can see how similar these two really are next to one another. For my lipstick, I'm going with MAC's Brave and NYX's Whipped Caviar, and that is how the whole look came together. So, have you been able to tell which side is high-end and which side is drugstore? If you guessed that this side is drugstore and this side is high-end, then you would be right. And how well did the drugstore side last compared to the high-end side? Pretty well, I must say. The eyeshadow, face, everything is very comparable to each side. The only exception is the lips. I felt like the lip liner on the drugstore side started to move by the end of the day, but you know what? For the price that you pay to get that dupe, still very impressive. If you found this video helpful today, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you again next week.